All right, so today we're going to be taking a look at KJ Lewis. He's a wing guard from Arizona. He's a very intriguing player, and so we're going to go through his strengths and then look at some of his weaknesses in this game against USC. This was towards the end of the season for Arizona, so I think it's a good place to pick up for next season. Really quickly before we go into the video, a couple of stats on KJ Lewis. So he averaged 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in 18 minutes a game. All of those coming off the bench. And his shooting splits were 46% from the field, 34% from 3, and 79% from the free throw line. He also averaged 1 offensive rebound per game, which we'll get to in this video. Only 1 3-point attempt on the season, so 34% solid, but not much of a shooter if you're only shooting it once per game, and 1 steal per game. Now, with Pelle Larsson and Keshad Johnson off to the Miami Heat, along with some other players leaving, more players came into the program, but I think KJ Lewis is in line to start for Arizona next season and play somewhere between 25 to 30 minutes per game. So what does he do well? Well, we're going to see here he's a really athletic player who can get to the rim, and he's very aggressive going to the basket. So you'll see here on this play, he gets the ball off the reversal and immediately looks to attack the rim, get inside, and has a really nice finish on this play. Now you'll see again him get down the lane and then turn and pivot and hit a nice mid-range or close shot. This is not something he's great at yet, but he seems more comfortable inside the arc than outside of it, I would say, overall shooting. Fouls. He draws a lot of fouls. He was getting 2 free throw attempts per game in 18 minutes, which is pretty solid. I think if he starts, he can get even more. The only question for me is his fit with Caleb Love. If Caleb Love can kind of give up the ball a little bit more. But you see 3 times in this game, he got offensive rebounds and putbacks. And that just goes to show his knack for the ball, but also knowing who he is as a player. And just finding ways to get involved in the game. Just getting downhill, beating his man, and getting into the lane to get the offensive rebound. Here you see him really aggressive on defense, stunting at the ball, active feet, and then here he gets a deflection and the steal. Lewis is a guy who also can pass. And we see it on this play here where he gets into the lane and finds the shooter in the corner. 2 assists per game for a guy who didn't touch the ball a ton is actually pretty solid to me and says a lot about his passing instincts. I think next year if he gets more opportunities, especially with Pelle Larsson off to the NBA, there's a chance he gets into the 3 range and you start to see him emerge as kind of like a Swiss Army knife, kind of like Pelle Larsson, just different for Arizona. Here you see him with his rebounding, which I think is something he also does really well on the defensive end of the court. So weaknesses. He's not a great shooter. You see here, not a great shot, just a long 2 there. He didn't attempt any 3s in this game. And so you can kind of tell he's just not fully comfortable there. Now, he is really good at getting to the basket, but he's not great at finishing yet. He only shot 51% on his 2-point attempts last season, and that's definitely an area with his athleticism I think he can improve upon. And some of it is just needing to be more selective when he's going to the rim and finding his opportunities a little bit better. Some of that I think can be worked out with film study and just growing as a player. Here, I don't like him picking up the foul there. That's kind of a common theme because these 2 plays happen back to back. I like the way he plays in his aggressiveness. He's just got to find a way to kind of rein it in a little bit so it's more beneficial to the team. Here again, offensive foul, a little bit out of control. So I think with KJ Lewis, to sum it up, he's a good athlete, he's an aggressive player, and the problems with KJ Lewis or you kind of need to rein them in a little bit, which is always a better place to be than needing to get somebody revved up. and he's just got to improve as a shooter and decision maker, which are things that I think he can improve upon, but not necessarily things I think he'll take great leaps this next year just based off of the composition of the team. So what do you guys think of KJ Lewis? Who else would you like to see me profile? College basketball players heading into the 2024-2025 season. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.